Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an Outlaw Trails story. I'm titling this one The Denton Gang, which is actually what we called the group back then. Before I get into this, however, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you would hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on social media, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. The link will be in the description of the video. If you can find all of my books there, and I like to think that I write good stories that make you think. I wrote a 3-book series called Drifters. I'm working on the fourth one now. It's science fiction westerns. I wrote a fun story about a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. It's called The House Off Farrago Road. I wrote a political fantasy called The Righteous President, and I've got the first two in what I hope will be a long series of science fiction books, futuristic space warfare kind of thing. It's a study of humanity from a alien perspective. The first one is called Vanguard 1. The second one is called Task Force Terminus. I hope you get them. Hope you like them. Now, on with the Denton Gang. Years ago, my friend Larry was running an Outlaw Trails game. My friends and I were running, it's Old West role-playing. My friends and I were running characters who turned to a life of crime. Billy's character was our group leader, and his character's name was Denton, so we became the Denton Gang. There were 7 of us, Billy and I, along with Doug, Barry, Arthur, Sean, and Dwayne. We'd robbed a stagecoach and a ranch house and had gotten enough money to really outfit ourselves well. So when in the game you start out with limited resources, so you get maybe a gun, maybe, uh, it's rare you'll be able to afford a horse right off the beginning, because horses are expensive. But we had gotten enough money to where we could really outfit ourselves. We all had horses. We all had the guns we wanted, the equipment we wanted to use in the game. So we were doing pretty well. Doug figured in for a penny, in for a pound, and he suggested we might be ready for the big leagues. He said we should rob a bank. The rest of us liked that idea, so we looked at the map. We were operating in Texas, and the nearest big bank worth hitting was in Abilene. Billy and I rode in to case the bank, and the rest meandered individually in to meet at the saloon one at a time, filtering into town so we wouldn't raise suspicion. We would meet them there afterwards. So we cased the bank. We looked it over pretty good. Billy went in and opened up an account for $20 so he could get the inside layout. And then we went back and we met at the saloon with the others. The bank was a 2-story building. The top floor was, we figured, offices and such, while the bottom were the tellers and the vault and like that. We met them at the saloon, as I said, and we explained our situation. So we all worked up a plan. Our plan was simple. One man would wait with the horses out front. Another man would wait in the back in case, somebody tried to get in that way. The rest of us would go in for the money. On the way out, we would split up and meet at a designated draw which we'd camped at 2 days past. We figured that splitting up would prevent the posse from targeting us all in one place and might confuse any trackers that they have. Doug held the horses out front while Barry covered the back of the bank. The rest of us went inside. I covered the tellers while the others took the manager to the vault so he could open the vault. The problem started when 2 of the tellers produced shotguns. I killed the first one, but the second one hit me with both barrels and blew me across the room. I died right there. The townsfolk heard the shots and started grabbing guns. Billy ran up front with Arthur and started killing tellers. Sean was forcing the manager to open the safe. Dwayne watched out the side window and saw a crowd of townsfolk making a perimeter of barricades around the bank. Doug opened up on them and they shot him dead. Barry charged the townsfolk on his horse and jumped the barricade. They shot him, but he managed to escape the town. Sean and Dwayne filled 5 sets of saddlebags with cash and came back up front with Billy and Arthur. They tried to run to the horses with the money, and the gunfight commenced. The townspeople were not great shots, but they had a few veterans with them. Arthur, Sean, and Billy made it to their horses. They mounted up and they started off toward the edge of town. Dwayne was gunned down in the doorway of the bank. He never made it outside. The ride through town to escape was harrowing. Shopkeepers, store owners, and business patrons created a gauntlet of gunfire. Billy died a block from the bank. Arthur and Sean were both wounded but made it to the edge of town. The sheriff's deputy unloaded his shotgun at them as they rode by, and Sean was blown from the saddle. He died. Arthur made it out of town with 2 saddlebags full of money. And as per the plan, Arthur and Barry met at the draw. They made camp. They patched up their wounds. They made camp. They were getting ready. During the night, the posse surrounded them. And come daybreak, there was a gunfight. Both outlaws died. Yeah. Outlaw Trails is designed as a down and dirty, realistic game, and it does not take a lot of gunfire to kill a player character outright. The Denton Gang did not last long. Barry commented at the time about similarities between the Denton Gang and a certain other historic outlaw gang who tried to rob a bank and got chewed up by the whole town. Yeah, it's we thought that was kind of funny too. But it happens. You can't get around it. This is what happens when you turn to a life of crime. You play with a bull, you get the horns. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. Vanguard 1, Devo Poland, a scientific representative from a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, has come to Earth to learn the one thing that humans do better than anyone else in the galaxy: to fight. In the sequel, Task Force Terminus, Earth is at war with an alien race called the Amdola. Devo Poland's new commission in the Terran fleet exposes him to bigotry and treachery, and he comes to realize that sometimes political and military maneuvering are one and the same.